Hey guys, welcome to DevOps School. In this video tutorial, we are going to learn about Kubernetes. Kubernetes is developed by Google and it is an open source platform that automates container operations. It eliminates many of the manual processes involved in deploying and scaling containerized applications. After going through this tutorial, I promise you that the concept and understanding of the Kubernetes will be absolutely clear to you.
But before that, let me ask you a few things. Are you dreaming of a career with higher pay and more responsibilities? Or are you ready to take your skills to the next level this year? Then start investing in DevOps School certification level courses which will help you to emerge skills for a wide range of entry-level roles and as well as higher potential future positions. But with thousands of courses online and in classroom worldwide, finding the right one for your career goals can be difficult. You can consider our courses like Agile Developer, Agile QA, DevOps Certified Professionals, Site Reliability Engineering, DevSecOps, and Masters in DevOps Engineering, where you will have access to well-structured, easy-to-follow course content that has been developed and will be delivered by industry professionals. You can join on our training programs globally through online platforms, and if you are looking for classroom workshops, then we have regular sessions available in Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, Delhi NCR, Mumbai, and in Pune. Simply compare our many courses, find the one that suits your style and schedule best, and start today.
Okay. So let me enable my chat box also. Can I chat while writing it? Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So some of you have some maybe background noise problem. So you can also type it so I can take it. Okay, so we have a master, we have a worker, we have a workstation. Can you tell me what are the components we have in the master?
API server, etcd, scheduler, controller.
You said all of which. That's great actually. Controller manager, there's one correction. Controller manager and scheduler.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else who would like to add me on the worker front? What are the components we have in the worker?
Kubelet,
and Docker and Kubectl. Anyone else like to tell me what is the API server?
It's just the front end for Kubernetes, like, to communicate, like, for example, any CLI or something like that, right? You can communicate, you can call the API server to fit some commands, like get me the list of pods or something like that.
No.
It's just like a front end.
Anything you want to send to the Kubernetes cluster, you have to send through API. You cannot ignore. It's like a door of your house, main door of your house. You cannot come inside a house without crossing that door. It's like that. What is the etcd?
It's just to store, the information about, worker nodes, all this kind of stuff. Like anything that is happening, in your KDS, it is typically a key value store.
Someone else, can you please tell me what is a controller manager?
Which maintains the state of curriculum customers, actual and legal.
And what about scheduler?
Which initiate work to if a kind of activity
Anyone would like to tell me kubelet? Kubelet?
Okay, controller manager is something which controls the worker node.
Many things it controls, including worker.
Yeah, and it controls the cluster.
Okay, and kubelet?
It's just an agent that is installed in all the worker nodes, and it communicates with master on the status of the node. Typically it helps like how the pod is or a node is responding. So it typically communicates with master.
And kubeproxy?
Kubeproxy, that is important.
IP addressing of container pods, networking network. Okay, guys. So now the question is, see, Kubernetes asks you to run application inside. Kubernetes asks you to run application inside.
Inside worker nodes, right?
No. Your application inside
Pod.
Correct. Now pod has what?
More containers will be there.
Container come from
Docker.
Image.
Docker.
Image come from
Docker file.
no. History of it. Correct. So this is a relationship. Now guys, see here. Kubernetes giving us and forcing us to run our application inside a pod. So guys, this is also application. No, this is also application. This is application. This is application. This is also application. So if they are asking me and you to run application inside a pod, so they should follow their statement of first themselves only, right? Yes, they are following. API server is running as a pod. etcd is running as a pod. Scheduler and controller manager is running as a pod. Docker and kubelet cannot be inside a pod because, tell me that. Who creates a pod? Tell me. Who creates a pod?
Docker.
Kubelet. So don't you think in the master, these are the 4 components we have. So kubelet needs to be there in the master server also. Don't you think so? Correct now? Now, container is created by whom? Docker. So don't you think in the master, Docker needs to be as well? Now, pods get IP address from whom? So guys, this is a real architecture now. See here. In the master server, okay, you get API server, but in form of pod. All these things you get in form of pod. Kubelet you need to install, Docker you need to install. Kubeproxy is a pod again. In worker you will get this one. So now this is the real architecture, guys. This is the real architecture. Now, so tell me one thing. Master can act like a worker or not? Tell me. Master can act like a worker or not?
It can.
It can, because all the components which it required, it has it. Similar to worker. So yes, you can use master as a worker also for your pod. System pod is anyways running, but your pod also uses it. Anyway, so guys, in the workstation, what was that? I forgot.
Rajesh, if master also works as worker, doesn't it introduce overhead for master?
Sir, I'm talking about not best practices. I'm talking about the possibilities. Right? I'm talking about the possibilities. Best practices is something different. Getting on? Workstation, anyone has a good memory? Because I'm not able to recall.
Which contains manifest file.
kubectl, yes, kubectl. So guys, Please do not forget, never forget this stuff. Master will have this, worker will have this, workstation will have this. Okay. Now, so the question is back to me, how to set up a cluster. So I will ask you a question. Where do you want to set up a cluster? First question. Where do you want to set up a cluster? Okay. That is the first question. So let's say you will say, Rajesh, I want to set up a cluster in one machine. Only one machine or one VM itself. I don't have too many machines. I want to learn Kubernetes. I don't have multiple VMs, so I want to install in one machine. No problem. If you want to set up a cluster in your private VM, multiple VMs. I said VMs, remember, S, I'm adding, mind it. Multiple VMs, you have a solution. You want to set it up in a physical server, we have a solution. You want to set up in the self-managed. That means who's managing this cluster? You. Self-managed. You want to set up in the AWS? Yes, you can do that. You want to set up in Google Cloud? You can do that. You want to set up in Azure? You can do that. So yes, self-management, you will manage. You will become administrator of this cluster. But managed, of course, when it's managed, someone else is managing platform as a service. I hope you understand that platform as a service. So managed one. So right now we have a three popular one. This one, self-managed and managed. So guys, if you want to set up in the private VM, you can use manual way using QVariant. Now the question is, what is a QVariant? Will come to me. If you want to set up in the physical server, we are using again QVariant. If you want to set up an EC2 instance and stuff like that, you can use COPS. Okay, using COPS. Very good tool actually. COPS. By the way, you can use QVariant here also. I'm not saying you cannot use. But because COPS is a more integrated way with AWS than QVariant. Because AWS has so many different services which you can use with the COPS. GC also, it's a COPS. You can use this one. COPS as of now Azure is not supported till I read last time. Right. So if you want to self-manage, these are the methods to set up a cluster. Now if you are using managed one, that means you don't want to take a headache of managing the cluster. Just you want to start working on it. So you can use AWS. You can use EKS. You can use Google Cloud. You can use GKE. EKS means Elastic Kubernetes Service. GKE means Google Kubernetes Engine. And here we call it AKS. Azure Kubernetes Service. So there are so many ways, right? There are more than 40 ways are there. Using that you can set up a cluster. If you want one machine, one VM, you can use Minikube. Okay, you can use Minikube. So now the question is, where do we get all this stuff? So just don't depend on anyone's tutorial. And why I'm saying this is because of when you are hitting for the certifications and all, it is open book exam. And open book exam, you are allowed to do the cheating. But the cheating will be only allowed on official documentation and the command line. That means you can open up those websites which is of Kubernetes documents, command line, and all these references. So if you be more in line towards those stuff, is get a practice on daily basis of the referring the official documentation, then you'll be in a better position. You'll be in a better position to crack those open book exams. Okay, so Kubernetes, which is here, and docs. And this is the page will be accessible. And you see here, try Kubernetes. So many, set up a cluster. See here, learning environment you want to set up, production environment you want to set up, Kubedium setup, backup. So many 40, 50 ways are there to set up a cluster. Ultimately, every time you set up a cluster, you get the same thing. But again, see here, cloud solution, Windows, many things are there here. We get lost here. That's not my objective. See, Jio, TCP, Alibaba also has this one. So guys, overall this is the stuff. Did you understand this? All of us.
Yes, Rajesh.
Okay.
Rajesh, one quick question. Since we are able to set up a cluster in VM, can't we set up this in a Docker?
How can you set up in Docker? Tell me one thing. Tell me one thing. Docker runs where? On the host machine. It requires VM. Kubelet requires VM. Kubelet create a pod. Pod will be running, then master will be running. So it has to be either physical machine or virtual machine. Getting the point? See the architecture. You spend good amount of time. Relationship. If you run kubelet inside a container, then think about it. If you run kubelet inside a container, that's possible. But kubelet will create a pod. Pod will be filled by container. So can you have a container inside a container? Tell me. That means in a simple way I'll put it in. Can we have a user inside a user? Are you understanding this?
Okay, Rajesh.
Yeah. 1 second, Rajesh, can you go? Because I just went 2 minutes late. I mean, API server, pod content. What is the image and position? Can you please this? Content is coming from image, whatever is it, hotspot is it.
What is your question? I missed it.
No, pod content, container. Container, pointing to image. I mean, what do you mean to say? Is that we are creating images, containers by using image, and image part of it.
Teach me, sir, here, because we have, I think today is 3rd or 4th of April. Teach me what is that, what I am talking about.
Yeah, I am just saying a pod is container. Container will get his image, and image is part of this. Is hotspot, that's the way.
You missed the Docker session?
No, I'm product side.
So I've been telling you, containers we create from the image.
Correct. Yeah.
And image we download from where? Registry.
So
here, in this case, it's a Google registry. GR. But earlier we were learning the hub.docker. Correct? Got it, guys?
okay.
Okay, so guys, so we will try as part of our session, we will try Kubernetes. Okay, Kubernetes. By the way, let me tell you one thing. Everyone, no matter which way you go, everyone try Kubedium only. Everyone, but they do not try directly. Someone set it up for you. Someone have created wrapper around Kubedium. Depends, but we are going to use direct. So now, what is Kubedium? Okay, I will let you read more about the Kubedium yourself. Okay, not getting too much into the Kubedium. Okay, but in short, I am telling you, Kubedium is a tool for administrator. Which administrator? the Kubernetes administrator. So using Kubedium, in short, I'm telling you, using Kubedium, you can set up a master. Where is the master? Yes, whole master. Everything you can set it up using that magical command, Kubedium. Using Kubedium, you can set up a worker. Using Kubedium, you can generate and manage a certificate which is for the API server access. Using Kubedium, you can delete master component. You can delete worker component. Using Kubedium, you can take up a backup. Using Kubedium, you can take up a restore also. So in one go, create master, worker, delete master, worker, backup, restore, authentication, etc. Simple. So here you have official code. Please read it, spend some time here, and we'll get it. Okay. Now what I have done in order you to set up the cluster efficiently, I have created one blog so you don't have to struggle here and there. So how do I find that blog? So I go to the blog website and search here Kubedium. I search the Kubedium and there are so many things are there. I am putting up in the simple way. How to set up Kubernetes cluster. If anything goes wrong, how to clean Kubernetes cluster. Simple. Every step I have given, I'll be giving you. In fact, I'll be following those steps in front of you. And request you all to be stick to my screen, guys. Because if you get stuck, let's say we have 20 people. If 5 of people also get stuck, we will use at least 1 or 2 hours actually. So request you all to help me out here. So this is the article setting up Kubernetes cluster using Kubedium manual way. This is for RHEL, this is for Ubuntu. We are needed this. Now if you want to remove it, then this is the one which you can follow. Okay. So this is the one article. I will follow in front of you also. And this is the one article for cleanup. Let's say something goes wrong. So how to clean up? So if you want to clean up, you have to run all this. Okay. So cleanup is also there. Okay. So this is the step. Now,
Rajesh, here something goes wrong means what may happen?
No, something goes wrong, then that means you have to clean up and redo the things. Because what happens, I have no control over your machine. So what you have, what you do not have, all these things I have no idea about it. So that's the reason I am saying if something is wrong, you can remove it and do that from scratch from your. Okay. These are the steps I documented. It depends on the previous sessions and stuff. Make sense? Okay. So guys, one more thing. This is a very important one. Very important one. You would set up master in a machine where you did not do anything with Docker. you have been given 2 CentOS machines. Okay, you have been given. So you used yesterday, from last 2 days, you used 1 CentOS box. So set up a master in a box where you did nothing. So you are getting a fresh machine. So when you are getting a fresh machine, chances of setting up the cluster is 99%. But if you use that Docker one, which you have played around from last 2 days, and what you did, to be honest, I have no idea. So chances of getting the cluster set up 50-50%. Why? What is the reason? Some reasons related to the proxy, server, IP cables, and stuff like that. So, anyways, if you follow this one, you will be able to set up. Okay. So guys, this is a document which I am following in front of you. See here. Here you have a Qubadium. Here you have a goal. Some of the information. Prerequisite. Installing Docker is prerequisite. And you need all this. Look at it. In the each machine, I said, please read this. You'll be a little bit slow. As part of the installation, every node, master and minions, needs this one. Qubadium, Kubelet, kubectl, Docker, CNI. How do we get a Docker? How do you get remaining 5 steps and 6 steps? Okay. So we'll go through this. So first thing, what you will do, you have to go to the virtual box. Clearly, just hear me out right. You have to go to the virtual box, setting, network, advanced, okay, and change MAC address. How can you do that? Let me use that if I have a virtual box. Here. Please look at it my screen. Next half an hour, focus on my screen only. So you will save some time. See, this is the virtual box. You all got it. I will go to here. I'll go to here. Setting. See, setting, network, advanced. Setting, network, advanced. And you see, this is a MAC address. Okay. This is a MAC address. You click here, stop condition. Okay, don't run. Stop condition only will be able to change. Refresh 2-3 times, change the MAC address. Done. Okay. Again, I am showing you. Setting, network, advanced. Here, let me take a screenshot here. See here. Advanced. This one. That's all. Okay. And click. Okay. Understood, guys?
Can you please repeat one more time?
Okay. See here, this is the VM. Sir, do not do the parallelly because it will get too much late actually. So by the lunch time I'll be able to finish. So just first look at it. I'll share every instruction through document file. Okay. Go to the VM, stop the VM, setting, network, advanced, refresh it. That's all. Change it. Step number 1 is done. Just go. I'll paste this image over there. So you'll not get confused. Second thing, you have to change the host name. Many people just run the command blindly. Please do not run the command blindly. Change your name .master.com. So please do that. Then stop the firewall, disable the firewall. Okay. Then disable the swap. How do you disable the swap? Sudo -f, run this command and reboot the system. This is the 4 step. 1, 2, 3, 4. You have to do that. Do you have any questions on this step number 1, 2, 3 and 4?
Yeah, Rajesh, why are we disabling swap?
Okay. Swap memory is basically what happens. We are having very 4 GB RAM only. Okay. And CPU is limited. So in that case, if you disable the swap memory, you will get more memories for the Kubernetes. If you have a very high-end machines and all, no, you don't need to do that. So it's for a step. Okay.
But the swap gets the memory from this one, right? Hard disk, right? So it basically increases the RAM, if I'm wrong.
For the managing also the disk memory, you need a little bit of memory. So here you disable that, and that's one of the prerequisites when you have a limited CPU and limited RAM.
Okay, right. We are just trying to free up as many resources as possible.
For the, if you have a high-end machines and all, you don't have to do that. But again, I will not let you lost in the small things right now. You have to do this. Now, you have to install all these utilities, Docker. So how to install Docker? See here. Installing Docker, you have done it. And how to install remaining tools? All these remaining tools will be here. I'll do that in front of you. Just give me a second. And then you see here, you are changing the permission level also. Okay, so 0, set in for 0. That's the prerequisite. Now, then installing all these tools here. See here. Kubelet, Kuberium, SDK. And now you're enabling the kubelet. That's all. Step number 5. And basically this command will set up a master init. Init will set up a master. That's all. So this is done. Your cluster is set up. Perfectly fine. So can I do that in front of you? Did you understand this?
Yes, Rajesh.
Sorry, I just missed the point. Why do we need to stop the firewall? Is it some network issue?
No, sir. Actually, we should not stop the firewall, but because, see, it's like this. We are 20 people. Master need to communicate with the worker. Worker need to communicate with the master at the many different ports. Okay, Kubernetes ports. But I don't want you to get lost in the port specification only. So you will not learn the Kubernetes, but learn all the stuff which make the Kubernetes better. So I don't want you to get lost. But typically, because many people are there, no. So we want to avoid those kind of stuff. So I will say, okay, disable the firewall. Once we go into that, once you learn the Kubernetes and set up a cluster for the production level, then you find out which port need to be open, which port need to be blocked. So that way. Getting open? Did you understand this? Hello? See.
Yes, I got it. Yeah.
Yeah. See, I don't want to complicate your mind right now with the port specification. See, these are the ports need to be open. Now, if I tell you this process will take a lot of time and same time, it will confuse you because you are just learning. So, simple way, don't get lost. Disable everything for time. That means everything is allowed. Make sense? Okay, guys. Can I move on?
Yes, Rajesh.
Okay. So now I am following in front of you this document. Okay. Please be mind. You have to read it and then follow. Don't follow blindly just like me. So I'll get machines. I don't have VMs actually. I'll get a VMs in the AWS. Okay guys, just like you got a 2 machines, I will also get a 2 machines in same configuration. Okay. CentOS. CentOS 7. You also got the same thing. Okay. Continue. 2 CPU, 4 GB RAM. You have also same thing. One machine. 8 GB is okay. I'll make it 30 GB. Tag this one with master. Security groups, I am opening up everything as I suggested. No firewall. See, all, everything is open just like you. Launch. Rajesh Mumbai is my key. So guys, this is the machine which will act like a master. This is a machine. I got IP address. This is a master IP address. Username is CentOS and all. So I'm going to putty SSH auth PPK. CentOS. Guys, I'll become a root. Okay. I become a root. So now I am setting up following these documents. So guys, look at my screen please. If you have a doubt, ask me right now. So I read all these documents with a peace of mind. I understood everything. You will do that. And then you will change the host name. I'm not doing it, but you will do that. Again, I'm repeating. I'm not doing it, but you will do that. Why? Because my host name in the AWS always comes unique. Always you will be unique host. Will not be repetitive. So that way I don't have to do that. But yours is with local host or something. So you will have to do that. Stop the firewall. In AWS, we control the firewall through the security group. I did it already. Swap off is already disabled in the AWS EC2 instance. So I don't have to do on reboot also. But you have to do that. Now, directly I'll move to this one. I copy entire command like this and copy paste enter. What this has done, this has created one repository in the YAM repository with all the required registry. After that, I am going to set enforce 0. See, copy paste. That might not be effective, so this is the second command, alternative. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't work. So both the commands you run it. Finally install kubelet. But I am doing one major mistake. What mistake? Anyone has idea? I am doing one major mistake. Anyone has idea?
Installing QVDMS.
So QADM is here. No,
Installing QVDMS.
no, one mistake I am doing. I am following this one.
You install Kubelet and kubectl in master.
Everything will be there. See here, everything will be there. But I have never installed the Docker before that. So that was a mistake I was doing. Even I forgot actually. So Docker need to be installed. I'll do one thing. After the demo, I'll put it in the step only. You will not forget. Even I will not forget. So you have to install Docker. So I'm installing Docker now. You will try in the machines where we have not done anything. Fresh machine should be there. Because IP table of Docker and IP table of Kubernetes is different. Will not work. Don't create a container after installing that Kubernetes, Docker. I'm installing Docker. Now this got stuck. 15 kbps, I don't think so I'll be able to survive. So I control C, rerun this command. Okay, done. Done. Yes. Done. 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 C. Enable and start the Docker. Don't create any container. Info. Done. So till info you will run. Okay. And after that installation is completed. Now what you have to do? After this I'll come here and then run this command. Installing all this. Done. Finally guys, enable this. Done. And finally, init. Init means initialize. Init means what? It initialize the master. Understand that. Init, Kubedium init will initialize the master server. When I say master, that means this magical command will do everything. This one, everything. All these pods will be created and configured. Only this command. So I'm running it. And you see, I'm running it. It is doing something. Done, guys. One more thing, please read this. Your Kubernetes control plane, aka master, has initialized successfully. Guys, no matter what you do, never ever forget to copy this command. Again, I'm repeating, if you forgot to copy this command and you lose this command, your setting up the process will be delayed by at least 30 minutes. So be mindful about it. Why? I'll tell you later. So always copy it and store it in your notepad. If you missed it, again you're losing time. Okay. So guys, my Kubernetes master has been set up correctly now. Did you find any difficulties now? Done. Don't follow step number 10. I will explain you one by one till step number 9. Did you understand this? Everyone?
Yes, Rajesh.
Okay, great. So what I'm going to do one by one, I will do one by one, not everything at one go, so you'll get confused.
Thanks for watching. If you liked our Kubernetes session so far, please enroll for our channel membership $3.99 plan to get access of all the parts. Along with that, you can access our other tutorials such as Docker, Ansible, Jenkins, Terraform, Splunk, AWS, Azure, and various other DevOps related premium tutorials with our channel membership. If you would have any issues with our channel membership, you can drop an email to us at contact@devopschool.com, or you can also unsubscribe from channel membership anytime if you don't want to continue or did not like the video. To get our channel membership, click onto the join button, select the $3.99 plan and grow your skills immensely.
Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries. We will reply to them at the earliest.
Thanks for watching.